the nerds. This is for the brainiacs. This what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back. You ain't gonna touch me. You not gonna do nothing. You are not above me. I bet you wish you was me. I know it. I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, I'm here with my only friends. And today is poppin' because we have some more friends in the building today. What's poppin', Landy?
How are we? You know, I'm here. I got the backwards hat. I got to try to represent Matt as he's got a very special occasion at the Bellagio.
Need to sit up straighter.
Yeah, I'm trying, you know. I got to try to figure it out. But I'm also joined by a fellow heads-up enthusiast. You can call him a specialist if you will. You can call him a victor and recent challenge competitor, Bill Perkins. How are we?
Bill. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, we get the claps, the rounds of applause going.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm feeling pretty good. You know, it feels good to go up against arguably, you know, top 1 to 5, you know, one of the better or best heads up players and survive. You know,
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, but seriously, I guess this is kind of the first time that we've, had, call it the public conversation about our match. So I guess we can start with that. We can lead into your match with Doug. We can talk about how much you played Doug prior and then playing him at the Lodge. And then we can kind of get into the shits with the Doug Garrett interview because that's kind of what prompted it all, right?
Yeah, our match was so long ago. I just recall, like, I got flack, like, both ways. Like, it was kind of weird because you just, like, challenged me, right? And we just, like, negotiated a deal on Twitter.
Yeah, I got wrecked there. You won.
And then I won that, but I was like, I didn't even, you know what I mean? Like, it was just kind of weird. We were just like, bid, offer, all right, deal. And then I was like, oh shit, now I got to go learn heads up poker. And then there was all this like trash talking, like, oh, you're going to get killed. You suck, Berkey, like blah, 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 wanting to bet more on the side and all these cross books. And then, you know, midway, like the match, like, we got hustled. Like you were a shark, you know? I was like, wait, what? What was going on here? Like, I just studied. That's all I did was study. Like I took it seriously because
why'd you do that?
Well, I think we can all agree Landon hustled himself here.
Yeah. And I think like if you were playing old Bill Perkins, you're just mopping him up left and right. Like you're just beating me like 25 big blinds or something like that. Like
I wanted that Bill Perkins.
You wanted that Bill Perkins, but the issue was like the public format of it and the challenge aspect. It was just kind of like, all right, stop being lazy. Go do the thing, right? Like it's one of those things like where you're like, I've been in shape and out of shape. And I realize like a bet will always, like I'd never lose these bets, these body fat bets, never. And no matter how grueling, I like just David Goggins it in my head. I'm just like, you stupid bitch, you just fucking drive. You know what I mean? Like I just do that. And that's how I was with the study. Like, all right, I've got to do this. I got to do whatever. I got to learn the stupid chart and rebet pots and all this other kind of crap. And even then I wasn't even doing like, my best was a lot worse than I was younger. Like a younger person is just always going to have more mental capacity, focus, etc. So I was slightly worried, but my coaches were really good and the system was really good. And it really helped accelerate my learning. So I feel like I was in good shape, you know?
Yeah, this is the problem, Landon. You caught him at the worst time when he's at like full discipline. I think you were actually going through like a body fat percentage challenge during that time because you were shredded, right?
There might be, I might have been, they're just like, if not now, when, right? Like type mentality in my head, like, okay, if you're not going to get in shape now, when, you know? And if you're not going to like study this and take this seriously, then when? Like you got these two wizards that can teach you and you're being publicly challenged. It's like, all right, it's fucking on. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, that seems like where I sort of fell short was the public element of it all. Where like you kind of behind closed doors, like, hey, let's just play poker, you know, heads up, I'll spot you this, you know, it doesn't have to be this big deal. Maybe you're not trying as hard, yeah, or at least not as studying.
You literally just mopped the floor with me. Like you literally mopped me up. And like I wouldn't even have known how much you would have mopped the floor because I wouldn't have practiced and known how bad I was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my ideas and my concepts and how like completely like bad I was going to be beat. And you just would have easily just printed. The fact that
this sounds like it's a good thing for me, but
He's
now
like,
I just have to sit here and be like,
you could have just won so much money, but I just didn't let you do that.
But like the fact that it was public and my ego, like you just put a man's ego on the line, right?
Yeah,
like
that's right.
You know, just like am I gonna have to have people call me an idiot forever? Like, no, I gotta at least put up a good fight, and then after like learning the mechanics of the game. And you know, the accelerated learning system and just getting in a groove. Like before I couldn't even follow the action on one table, you know, 2 tables quick. And then by the end, in the middle, like I was 4 tabling it to practice, like no problem, you know, still make mistakes. Obviously we're humans, we're making a bunch of mistakes, but like just the ability to move with the action and follow what's going on and think through some scenarios that are pretty complex felt good.
Yeah. I definitely, like, at least from my side, I know that I could have taken it much more seriously than I did, in the sense of kind of doing my own sort of independent learning to some regards, where I definitely thought there was more accountability on the side of like the coaching standpoint of, okay, this is what we want you to do. This is how you're going to do it. Where in reality, it should have been more on me to be like, okay, let's look at these sims. Let's look at 3-bet pots today for X amount of time, and then play online, and then play some people, and then look at the spots and then review them, where I kind of thought it was going to be structured from my side as part of the coaching process, where it fell short on me. Like I definitely did not do as much as I could have, in the sense of like the prep and knowing where I was supposed to be going with that. And honestly, like it really kind of changed a lot as to how I saw myself, not even from like the skill standpoint. Like before playing that, I've never played or studied Heads Up No Limit. I just genuinely thought it was going to be like a good spot. You know, I was going to play the Bill Perkins that didn't end up actually feeling like he needed to try, and then see kind of where that went in that regard. But like looking at it now, looking through it the lens of, I call it 2 years removed, I definitely would have done things much more differently. And not in the sense of like being okay, not okay with it. Like things are what they are. And maybe that stuff had to happen. Like I had to get ego shot. I didn't look at Twitter much after the challenge was over, because of course, you know, I didn't want to throw in the towel. Like I just wanted to keep playing, of course. Right. But having that sort of X month span of the whole cheater, scammer, fraud, like sucks at poker, does this, is an idiot, you know, it's like, okay, like all that stuff's gotten out of the way. Now anything that I ever see anymore, like cannot hurt me as much as that stuff used to.
Yeah. And you got to go through some things, you know, like you just got to go through things and you got to shrug that off. I've said this in, like I have a healthy dose of, I don't give a fuck what people think. Like obviously we're human beings. Like we do have some care. I particularly care what my daughters think. I particularly care what some people think, but like I have a healthy dose. And I think that's because like the era I was raised, you know, racism was a lot stronger, and people would talk shit about black people or whatever and judge you. And the good thing about that is you get trained to not give a fuck what people think. Right. And so you could just handle a lot more of the bullshit and not care, because people have been talking shit about you your whole life and it's not true, or for whatever reason. And so like, you don't give a fuck what people think. You're like, you know, that's them. Eat a bag of dicks and just move on.
Yeah, I mean,
a great way to live.
Especially from like the social media standpoint, like you don't know the person behind the screen at all for the most part, right? Yeah. Especially when it comes to the alt accounts and shit.
Even if it's somebody like close, or like I like, you know, coming up in trading, people would be like, oh, I can't trade, he's not good. I'd be like, yeah, I'm lucky for 20 fucking years. Like, and like, you know, it's like, it's just like, who cares? Like, I'm like, there's people who will talk shit about you and you're not even thinking about them. You don't know their name. You couldn't put them in the lineup, and you just got to remember that, you know, that's how people entertain themselves. I get it. You know, we're in that culture where people go to a stadium and talk shit about the guy on the field and he sucks and throw out the other guy and whatever. And it's like part of the culture somewhat, but you just got to realize like, it's not personal, and it's all them.
It sounds like the Ginzer Sports if you're talking to Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've screamed at the TV at the baseball games, Pirate games a lot. Yeah. But you know, try to see me go out there and throw a ball. Wouldn't be good.
Yeah, exactly. So we're kind of used to that, right? Like we're opinion machines, right? So And then sometimes we like to say them. I mean, I got opinions. I say opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, you know? So
and they all stink.
They all stink. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Talk to me a little bit about your recent heads up match versus Doug, at least at the Lodge. And then I guess you guys might have played a little bit prior to that online and your sort of process with that.
So after like learning, right, I battle my wizards and then played. I'm generally not afraid to play with anybody, right? Like I know I'm a dog against Doug. I'm not even trying to say that I'm a favorite Doug 50,000 hands or whatever, but I know that I can hold my own and I can do some things and I've I have a hand history on Doug and I have some of his tendencies. So I feel that like it's a good shot. It'll be entertaining. I mean, the poker community loves blood, right? They want to see somebody get knocked out. So it was going to be a good match. There'll be Team Doug, Team Bill, Team just whatever the fuck. And so we as soon as he said it, I'm like, yes, I finally get to play you like in a challenge. And it's fun in a lodge and it helps the lodge and I get to wear my Sky-Fi t-shirt, like out there.
Sky-Fi's sick.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I think it, wasn't, I don't think it was boring to watch. I don't think we were being boring. I think we were,
what I heard was, I mean, I watched some of it. When you told Doug he can lower the price of the 3-bet if you tell him that you don't have an ace or a king in your hand.
Yeah. I did that. That was probably the worst negotiation I did, but I would he would 3-bet and I'd want to.
I know the worst negotiation.
I'm just like, I just feel like playing this, offsuit connector. Would you please lower the 3-bet? You know what I mean? Like, that type of thing. Just kind of goofing off. I was up at the time, and we only had. We did it during the day, but we only had like a couple hours left or an hour left, and I was like, all right, this will be entertaining. Like try and negotiate prices and see. And I was trying to intuit in my head whether it was fair or not. I think the ace and king was way his favorite.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good for him.
Yeah, but some of the other ones, it may not be. I think the one where I have a pair is not really good for him. It depends on my hand. I have to do it with some hands that are like super borderline, but like can really realize some equity. But
run me through. Well, my favorite part of the stream was when you had queens, and then you asked the employee to pick a number 1 through 7.
Yeah,
and then no matter what number they said, you're like, I was calling anyways. I just wanted to do that.
Yeah. I just said that, like the last thing, and I was like, am I folding? I was like, I'm not folding here. Like, so like, it was really tough. So Doug is one of the few human beings. Like most human beings will under bluff. Like they're just never bluffing. They don't find the bluff spots. And Doug is just good enough. He's like a red line specialist, like to find the bluffs. Like he's actively seeking, okay, what bluff combo should I have? Should I bluff? And in certain lines that Doug takes, not his main line, he's just over bluffing, right? Like you and I learned GTO, not necessarily to play GTO all the time, but to know where people are unbalanced and then fuck them up, right?
Yeah.
So
fair.
you we're playing heads up. You're like. Your coach was like, oh, Bill's unbalanced here, whatever. And then I quickly corrected that because I was practicing every day and my coaches are going, you're fucking up here and you're without doing this and you're under C betting here and blah, 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 and all the distortions of my game. And so Doug is like a supremely balanced relative to most humans poker player, but it's impossible to be perfectly balanced, right?
Correct.
In all lines and all streets. And so in this hand where Doug's blasting, I'm like, okay, at first when I was paying attention, like as far as goofing off, I was paying attention to like how quickly Doug acted, right? What his behavior was, like if he paused or stuff like that, to kind of get like a relative strength in his hands, right? And I know he's capable of 4-bet bluffing, right? Like he's done it several times. He said he was randomizing it, but even if you're randomizing it, like let's say you're using like card position and the suits or something like that, your resolution of your randomization isn't that great. So you could still, you're still going to have a frequency mistake, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you just say you're going to randomize and you say, fuck that guy, I'm going to 4-bet.
Yeah. But even if you like say, oh, I'm going to use if the ace is on the top and the so-and-so's on the bottom, then I'm going to do it. And otherwise I'm not, or whatever. I'm just saying like, there's only so many combinations of your cards, right? Where the resolution is only going to get to like 1-16, 1-8. You know what I mean? Depending on what you're doing, right?
Sure.
And so that's one part. But then two, it's like, is Doug likes to fight for pots, right? And so I'll be honest with you, at the river, when he shipped it, I was like, oh God, like I'm lost, right? Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to call his hand comp hand. I'm going through the history. And then really I just thought about it, like, let's just use a sledgehammer, okay? If he's over bluffing by just 1%, okay, it drastically changes whether I call or not, right?
Yeah.
And like, human beings aren't like making a mistake by 1%. They're making a mistake by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. You know what I mean? 10%.
Yeah.
Which just makes it like snap call, right? But Doug's not like most human beings. His error rate in any line is going to be some of the tightest you've ever seen as a human, right?
Right.
Not saying he didn't make mistakes, like his turn bet. If you look at pure GTO, is like weird. But once he shows up with that hand, right? It's like, oh, you showed up here and you bet the turn big. All you can do is blast off with this combo. So I had to, I just went to straight the force of, is Doug in later Streets of Fighter an overbluffer, coupled with using the force that he didn't seem to fucking care what I had. Right. And now this, I admit, like, I can be completely wrong and wrong logic, but in my experience, and Doug's a different human, people, when they have premium hands, are worried about getting them cracked. Right.
Yeah, fair. People play hands differently. They protect in some spots.
If you have a draw, you're like happy for the draw, like you're putting it in, and you're like, I got a fucking draw, I can stack this guy, or whatever. When you have aces, you're just worried about him getting cracked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Doug might be a different person or whatever, but the speed at which he was betting made me think he was not considering my hand. So I was like, he has jacks or super nutted, and he doesn't fucking care aces or air.
Yeah,
that's what went in my head. I didn't really put him on a flush combo. I felt like he would more call my 3-bet, but obviously he has some 4-bets there, so I probably made a mistake in a lot of my analysis. But just going back to the sledgehammer, like, if I play you rock paper scissors and you're unbalanced by 1% in rock, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just always correct to throw paper, right? Just always, and if you don't learn, right? Like, so like, I felt like Doug was an overbluffer, and I just said, I'm not fucking folding. Like, I'm sticky already, right? And then I'm just like, I don't know. I'm lost. I think you're an overbluffer. I'm calling.
You can't sleep at night if you fold.
I mean, like, imagine, like, I didn't think about that part, but like, imagine I fold and he goes like, yeah, ace 10. I'm like, oh my fuck, I'm like,
yeah.
Plus, it was also like, to be honest, it's like 2:30. If I get busted, I go home, or 3 o'clock, or whatever time it is. I'm like, it's just kind of like, I'm not going. Like, I am not folding to this overbluffing guy. Like, he is capable of shipping multiple big blinds. And then when I looked at it, it was only a pot-sized bet. I was like, or pottish sized bet. I'm like,
yeah. Oh, okay, so now I guess we can kind of get into the shits of what brought you here in the first place, the Doug and Garrett interview, where you said you had a lot of thoughts, a lot of questions,
it's
comments.
Not even me, Doug. Like, I think the first thought, I think, is like, I really appreciate what Garrett did. Like, not only did he like finally come out and like give his take, which, he's going to get shit no matter what, coming out to give his take. He did it also in like his feelings, where he is in his life, in a very vulnerable way, which, forgetting like his incentives or whatever he's aligned to do that, like that's tough shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough to like come out and be like, this is how I feel. I want to clear the air. This hurt me, blah, 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 to use those words. Right.
Yeah.
But all that being said, the biggest issue I have is that he still has the money. At first, I was like confused as why he took the money, but I he said, put yourself in my shoes. I'd be like, yeah, I probably would have done worse, and I probably would have taken the money. But, Garrett's like, I'm not fucking giving the money. He's a cheater. I know it in my bones of bones. And I'm like, wait a minute. Let's step back for a second. We live in the United States of America, right? Like, one of the things that we're not a banana republic is that victims are not judge, jury, and executioner. And people have gone to jail for many years of life in more intimate, more convincing situations, only to be exonerated later, right? Central Park 5 with confessions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People accused of rape. I mean, it's just the people on fucking death row, right? Because prosecutors withheld evidence or were biased or were biased because this guy had a criminal record and he's a 3-time loser or whatever, and they just throw away the key. And so I felt there was a lot of arguments like, you know, her history and yada, yada, and whatever. And there's a lot of, I'm not going to say that I don't necessarily agree with a preponderance of the evidence that, okay, she likely cheated, right? But like this whole, I am the judge, jury, and executioner in, you know, a model of America where the poker community has adopted it. Like we have arbitrators. Like when there's a disagreement in the poker community, in the poker world, there's arbitration, right? That's how everything is settled. This is well known. And Garrett's not like some rep, right? He's a fucking professional. He's a motherfucking professional. So for a motherfucking professional to go like, no, I'm keeping the money and I know and whatever in my bones, if you just look at it, she doesn't deserve the money. It's just so bad for him, so bad for poker, bad all around.
So
I'm not even attacking Garrett. I'm like, listen, this is bad for you. This is really bad for you because third party, right? Like you're like, I don't even want to play poker. I want to go into something different. And poker is a gnat on the screw of the machine of life in terms of opportunity sets, et cetera, right? Like people sit down with the rich guys trying to make money, right? They'd much rather switch places economically with the rich guy than be grinding it out at a poker table, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that he's going to like put that out there and be like, yeah, you know, third party guys like, so what happened? So you felt cheated. So was there the investigation? Did it reveal anything? No. Perkins put out life-changing money and these other people put out life-changing money for a reward for anybody offering information. Did anybody come forward? No. If you took a lie detector? Yeah, but it's fake. Yeah, no. But I know in my bones, so I'm going to keep the money. Wait, is there a process for people to review these things? Like arbitrators or third party? Yes, but I'm not submitting to that. I'm just keeping it. It's just asinine. It's the worst fucking case scenario.
I do get what you're saying. But when this all happened, I believe a few weeks after, they agreed to donate the money to charity. And I think Garrett did that.
He did. He donated to St. Jude, I think.
Big Brothers and
Big Brother. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Did they both agree?
That's what I thought. That's what it looked like on Twitter, that they both agreed to donate the money. And
I mean, but if that's the case, then like, look, I could say they had an agreement. He donated to charity, but that's not what he said on the street, right? Like he said, I'm not fucking giving her money back. She's a cheater. And I feel out of principle, I'm not going to give them. I'm like, wait a minute. You're so far out of line, out of principle on this line argument. I'm not saying, like, let's say that the agreement didn't happen, right? Because I'm just going over what was said there. I'm like, you're so fucking out of line on principle. It's not even funny.
I'm not saying I agree with this, but what if someone said, or what if Garrett said that, okay, there's been a precedent set with the Apostle case where we've seen in the community has kind of seen that cheaters will get away with it in with due process. And I think he's looked at it and he feels like there's enough evidence, but it's not conclusive enough in the court of law or the court of public opinion to actually sway everybody. And that's why he's taking it into his own hands. Because
I mean, listen, if you want vigilante justice and people making up their own rules or whatever, like go fucking move to one of these banana republics. Like that's not how it works here. That's not the rules of poker. That's not how we set it up. And he's like, I'm going to be the fucking judge and jury and I'm upon myself because Apostle got away with it. Like, fuck out of there. Who are you? You're not poker Jesus. Like, stop. You know what I mean? Like, you're not fucking poker Jesus. You're not poker whatever. Like, we have a process. We have a system. You know, like to say those words is horrible. I think it's fucking horrible. And listen, I've been cheated before. I've been conned before. And there was a situation, I can't name names in this that I wasn't involved with. And like, it was so clear they were cheated, but they didn't do the things of like, did you get the cards? Did you do the things that you could do? And they didn't want to pay. And they asked some casino hosts and some other people like high up in the casino community, and they were like, poker can't be this way. Like, somebody can't just go statistically like, this is weird and fishy, I'm just not going to pay. The whole fucking system breaks down.
Yeah.
Everything breaks down.
100% agree.
Cash game breaks down. All this shit breaks down, right? So like for this one instant, and it's a very, very public instance where Garrett could, he could have been like, I was very emotional about it. I promise you, I would have behaved worse than he did in the situation. So I'm not even like attacking him on the situation. I'm attacking his behavior after the fact. He's calmed down. He's thought about it. And he comes out in a statement like, no, I'm keeping it because I know my bones are bones. I'm like, yeah, there's many black people and innocent white people that have been thrown in because people knew in their bones are bones, they were guilty. Right. Yeah. And I'm not saying the jury, I'm saying prosecutors, like, we're not going to give this evidence. We're not going to present this exculpatory evidence. We're not going to pay attention to this. We're actually going to violate the law and just fucking throw them away because they're a bad person or they have a shitty history. Right.
Yeah. It's kind of just poor delivery of his feelings, it feels like.
But it's also poor action. Like, it should be like an arbitrators, and they should be like, listen, how about this? I'll lay money that everybody be like, we could do an arbitration of just this concept and he's going to lose.
Yeah.
Like, this is, we can't have anarchy, right? Like Robbi violated the rules of poker. In his mind, he's violating the rules of poker right now, period. End of sentence, by acting judge and jury. Same difference.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's kind of weird how those dominoes fall, though. Like,
I get it. Like,
yeah, I know. It's a weird situation.
It's weird, and like, there's all kinds of like if this was the court of statistically consistent conviction, and now it's on a jury. Like, if this was like a civil case, I'd be like, you cheated. More likely than not.
He wanted. Like, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, that. He wanted like people to be, put themselves in his shoes, and I guess maybe he should he could flip it around a little bit and say well, put yourself in the other. If this was you and someone had your money, wouldn't you want it to go to arbitration, or would you just want that one person to just be like, no, I'm not giving it back to you, right? He'd want it to go to arbitration because he knows, that he didn't cheat, or that it would be more fair.
Himself. He's hurting himself. You're always on interview, right? You're always on interview. And if you think like the global world, or like at least in the Western United States of America on this principle, is going to be like, yeah, you're right, you should make the decision, there shouldn't be an arbitration, that's right. Like, you're fucking out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying this, like, mainly to Garrett to like help him, like, you're fucking really hurting yourself unless you're just going to be in poker the whole fucking time of your life. And then, it feels like audience capture. Like, there's Team Garrett that's like, fuck Robbi, and she's a fucking cheater, blah, blah, blah. There's Team Robbi, like, free Robbi, like, shit, blah, 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 blah. And then, there's a couple people in the middle that are like, I don't know, it looks fishy. I wasn't there. I mean, I had my video guy look at the stuff, and it was like, at first we thought she had a vibrating device, and then there was here's the pants she had. It's creases. I threw out a fucking pretty high reward to get to the truth. Nobody came through. And like, let me tell you, 2 people can keep a secret. I mean, 3 people can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead.
Yep.
So this either has to be like one of the tightest motherfucking crews, CIA, whatever, or this fuck or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so that didn't happen. Hustler, you can say, yeah, they investigated themselves and they're biased, but that didn't come up with anything, And
I think there's only one solution. I think that Robbi and Garrett must play a heads-up match to see who's right.
I mean, that would be fun, but I think Garrett is like when you believe that, like, I'm not doubting that Garrett truly believes it, and he has like very strong circumstantial evidence to support that, right? Very strong circumstantial evidence to support that. He does not want to give Robbi a platform. He feels like she's the bad guy, and she's now profiting and excelling on that, and he's not going to use his platform to lift her up anymore or do anything.
So what do you think let's just pretend the situation is that you are Garrett now. What would you do in this situation if you were him?
Listen, like I would have blew my gasket, been on Twitter, whatever, in the beginning. I would have had the money, and then I would have calmed the fuck down and been like, there's a process for this. Here's the $100 and something $1,000. Here's the arbitrators. Here's the case. Decide. And listen, I've had $500,000 arbitration where I was like, and then Danny was the arbitrator against Dan. I fucking lost. And then I had to apologize and I felt like an asshole.
Yeah.
I fucking lost. Like, that's how it be. Sometimes you get got. And like, he's a pro. Like,
sometimes you definitely get got.
You get fucking got. And we have a system where it's better to have 100 people walk free than an innocent person in jail.
Yep.
Talking about getting got for Garrett here. He donates the $135 like the next week, and then he's gonna have to come out of his pocket to pay $135 all because he thinks he got cheated.
But this is a piece of information I didn't have. Right, I was just going what was said on the stream.
Yeah.
Right, like if they agreed to donate it, then it should be squashed. It's over. You know what I mean? Like it's done. Like that was the resolution. Both parties agreed that's what they're gonna do. But for him to like, oh, I'm going to take your money because I think you're cheating, and I'm the person who was the victim, so I'm super biased, super, whatever, and then I'm going to donate it to charity. That's not okay. But if they agreed, yeah, it's over. It's done. Squashed. Fuck Bill Perkins. What does he got to say?
I think you're
right,
100% right, Bill. I tend to agree with you. I think for him, it's just the emotional realization of, or more so public, where he doesn't want people to have the narrative that if he pays this $135,000 back, that she's right. Like she did not cheat, right? Like it's so binary where there is this middle ground, really.
I mean, here's the deal, right? Like that's audience capture.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna fuck all those people, right? Like you do the right thing, and that works out, right? So he holds himself to be a stand-up guy. I believe him to be a stand-up guy. I just think he has a lot of cognitive bias right now. And, he seems like a nice guy. He's very intentional. At least that's my read. I don't know Garrett, like, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, that was my read. Like, he's being vulnerable and he's explaining his situation, but he's just kind of got this cognitive bias going on right now where he's like, everybody's like, well, his audience will think this or that. I'm like, I do the right thing. I don't own slaves. Well, maybe I would have, but I don't own slaves because everybody else is owning slaves.
Fuck out. Man, we've got a lot. I just want to find out who Poker Jesus is. We gotta get him the hunt.
I mean, like, no, we gotta find a Poker Jesus. But I'm just saying, like, that's what happens. Like, you get got. Like, people have asked me, and listen, being the arbitrator is a fucking hard job, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I arbitrated like this one bet. Like, did they have a bet or not have a bet? I found partial fault with one of them, and they weren't happy. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy in arbitration, right?
Yeah.
Like the perfect arbitration is both parties walk away unhappy. So like, but just in this situation where it's going to be binary, like it's a really dicey scenario because I think in his heart of hearts, like in an arbitration, I don't see how he wins. Like I'm not the arbitrator, I wouldn't want to be. I would pick like a Galfon and Ike Haxton and somebody else,
It's tough with not concrete. Like physical evidence or something like that. Yeah, like It is all speculation at this point, even if it's very strong speculation.
Rob Young weighed in on a situation like this a while ago in like this whatever game. I've seen Baldwin and everybody's like, you can't fucking be judge and jury on some stats.
Yeah, it's innocent until proven guilty, and proving somebody guilty, especially in this situation, is very difficult.
Yeah.
And like, listen, I'm one of the guys that are like on the more likely than not.
Mm-hmm, right.
But like, there's a lot of evidence to the other way. Like, she could easily just been nervous in the hand and like fucking lucked up and playing in a goofy way or trying to give off an air of confidence earlier, doing shit that somebody told her. They're all those things that were like meant to try and catch this, right? Like she's the group. It didn't come out. That doesn't mean it had to come out, but like there's nothing. Like even with Postle, like it's like, oh, we can see the fucking device in his hat. Like my video, like we can see it, right? And it's a much longer statistical history too.
Yeah, this
right?
is much more circumstantial for sure.
This is so circumstantial. And like, this whole like, Robbi's, this part's made up or whatever, and she's trying to be an actor or whatever. Like Robbi has her ambitions and everybody's got their history, like this whole like slander. So therefore she's a cheater. I'm not that. Like, I think Robbi most likely cheated statistically, but I'm like, math and science guy. But like, I met Robbi. She's nice as pie. She was nice and, fun and trying to get in the thing. And when I was sitting there, I was like, she could have easily goofed up and been in this situation. Yeah. Like, it would have been an odd, like, what are the odds type of thing, but she could have easily stumbled her way into that thing, with a bunch of other goofy stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely true though. Like, at least from the logical standpoint of trying to make decisions as a single party, especially when you are the party that was wrong, believes that wrongdoing was done upon to them.
That doesn't exist, dude. That doesn't even exist. Like, the closest that exists in Texas, if somebody breaks in your house and steals something and running away and you don't think you can get it back, you can shoot them in the back. Like, that's the closest thing you can get. Like, you have to see it happen. It has to be a crime. Jury's still going to look at it, all the evidence, but that's it. Otherwise, if that shit happens in California, you're going to fucking jail. They could come in, murder your mom. They're running down the street and you fucking shoot them in the back. You're going to prison. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I just don't get this, like,
Not in Florida, though.
There's some states in the edge, but I'm just saying, like, there's way more scenarios where somebody looks guilty as fuck and they didn't do it. They spent 16 years in their life, and we for sure don't have the aggrieved party trying to put them away, and that's what, like, in theory, a defender, prosecutor, evidence supposed to be, between both parties, but one party just holds back just a little bit because they're biased and they really want to put the guy away. And then, that fucks up the whole case and turns out, DNA evidence, the guy is innocent,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just that little bit of evidence. And it's like, you probably would have convicted the person too, Wait,
fired up on this one.
I think what complicates this too, just to put a bow on it, is that she gave him the money. But, like, it's dubious.
It's weird.
That
it's
whole
a weird
situation.
scenario.
The whole thing is mired in weirdness.
I think like, Garrett, understandably, probably much calmer than me. Okay, so I just want to give him was like, in a scenario where he was not necessarily making physical threats, but making threats like, you're going down or whatever, and this is whatever. And then Robbi, like, I play with Robbi, she can get flustered. You know what I mean? Like, I was playing, like, you shouldn't call, whatever. I was like, you saw it on stream. We're like goofing off and, like, you get flustered, So I understand that from his lens, he's not really being intimidating or intimidating her, but, like, from her lens, like, that's an intimidating situation.
Yeah.
You have a star of a show saying X, Y, and Z to you aggressively. You're just like, I don't like, and you're just like goofing off. Like, you'd be like, whatever,
Yeah, it's a tough spot when you feel like
it's a tough spot. Like, but it's also consistent with she's a cheater. You know what I mean?
That's on the side.
Right? It's like Garrett hits you with the, what you did.
A cheater would do.
Yeah,
so
what you did.
But there's a case where, like, there's a case, like, even irrespective of cheating, right? Let's say the arbitration panel, I would be like, but she did give him the money. It wasn't intimidating enough. It's over. She can't say, I want the money back now. He could win on that.
Yeah.
He could easily win on that without even discussing the cheating aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, you decided to rebate him. That was on you. It wasn't a fucking intimidating thing. Nobody was there after Ryan left, right? Like, nobody was there. So, if I was hearing it, I'd be like, the only conversation that matters was with Ryan there. He said, I was leaving, right? And then the rest is like, it's a black hole. All we know is you gave the money. There was no bruises or whatever. I might be like, nah, you can't take the money back. That's the rules,
Right.
Wasn't the context like she was going to give him the money back if he agreed to come back to the table, and then he didn't come back to the table and play? Wasn't that the agreement? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, this would be an arbitration panel, right? Like, this would be part of the panel. Like, we could form a panel right now, but I don't want to do that. I just really wanted to like, put it out there for Garrett and for the poker community. Like, we just can't have this. We can't just have like, I was most likely cheated, so I'm not paying, or I'm keeping the money, or whatever. Like, it just doesn't work that way. And that's the risk we take as playing poker, both recreationally and professional. Like, sometimes you get got.
Yeah. I can definitely see the standpoint of like after the fact, call it hand being over. She then gives him money in some weird, unforeseen circumstance where you can make the argument that, oh, she just gave him the money back. That was on her. So who really knows kind of what's going on that front? But then when it comes to the, call it poker vigilante type of justice, I definitely see that side of it as well.
I think that's just really bad for poker. I think it's even worse for Garrett. And so I think he's very myopic with the words he's choosing and his behavior in a situation. Now, that being said, if they agreed to give it to charity, then, all bets are off. He should actually just say that. And that's the decision that they came up with. And if people want to roast that or talk shit about that, then, fuck them.
Yeah.
But this conversation started with like not giving a shit about what people think. And I don't think he should allow himself to be audience captured by the people rooting for him, nor get overly influenced by the free Robbi crowd, but like literally like, okay, what is the code that I live by? What are the rules that I operate by? You know what I mean? And then go from there. Right. I just don't think he's the guy where he's like, yeah, if I feel I'm cheating, I'm able to take the money. I'll fuck arbitration, whatever type of guy. Like, I don't care what the poker community thinks, or this guy thinks, or Daniel Negreanu thinks, or the other people think. I fucking know in my bones, so I'm keeping the money. Like, that is some terrible 6th grade shit.
Yeah. Besides that, at least from the other bets and standpoints of things that have happened, you made a body fat percentage bet with Doug, and then also offered one to Shaun Deep, who won the circuit last night.
Yeah. And,
so I guess what was going through your mind when you made the bet with Doug as to like, did you think he could do it? At what percent of the time did you think he could do it when it came to the bet? And then I guess looking at the one with Shaun kind of briefly, is it even possible for him to get to 10% body fat in 14 months without taking gear?
I think like he's allowed to do whatever he wants. Like, I let him do whatever he wants to get there.
Let him cook.
Well, let's go with Doug. Doug, I thought it was easy cakewalk. The problem with Doug is that he started too late, and he had some, I think, bad advice in the beginning. And I don't want to talk too much about it because I know I'm going to go on and talk with Doug, but he had a mental block that he wasn't an athlete. And then only later, like, he realized, holy shit, I'm a fucking athlete. And he went into beast mode, and he almost got there. But he started
just missed
too
it.
late. Like, and I really want to talk with him on a stream about this because I think it's very inspiring. Like, his mind held him back. Wasn't his body, wasn't the hardness of the bet. It was his self-belief that he couldn't do it, that he's naturally fat, that he's not an athlete, whatever. Then when he went through the pain and he broke through, and he was like, fuck, I enjoy this now. I'm whatever. And he was in beast mode. He's like, I said, Doug, I told you, you're a natural athlete. He had broken a belief more than like broken down body fat, which is way better, right? Like, he did some David Goggins shit. Like, he had to first change his mind, right? Before, beliefs first, then behavior. And so he was forced into this like high incentive situation with his ego on the line to just go through this painful process. But on the other side was, holy shit, a new belief in himself, which is way more powerful than the money he made or lost or whatever. But I thought it was going to be a cakewalk for him, but I didn't realize he had such a mental block.
Yeah, I mean, at least for myself, I can sort of talk to the fact that, like, call it me 2 years ago, I was a definitely different person back then. I look like, at my worst, I think I weighed 280, got all the way down to 183 as of November or October of last year. And now I'm trying to put weight back on. So now I'm like 207. So,
build the muscle.
I'm trying to get
whatever your journey is like it's like, forget the technique. It's just that belief that you can do it, right? That just like, it's more your brain. You'll be amazed what you can do, right? Whether it's like learn heads up poker real quick, or lose weight, or gain muscle, or figure out a way when you're like, if you believe in yourself, because then you start trying all kinds of things and incorporate it. It's like typical, like, that quasi motivational bullshit, but it's true. It works. It is, and Doug experienced that. And that was quite fucking amazing. I'll let him tell a story. And then with Shaun, I think Joshua posted a picture or something, and I was just like,
yeah, he was eating chicken tendies at the table.
Yeah. And I was like, this motherfucker's got a kid. Like, he can, he's rolling. He's got some negative free rolls in life going on. Right. And so, I mean, he's happy, but so are heroin addicts too,
Jesus.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with heroin. You got a problem with my heroin. And it's kind of like that. Like, I don't have a problem with my weight, my eating habits. You got a problem with it. I'm like, maybe your kid does, maybe whatever, but I think he could benefit. And I think 14 months though, he can do it. Like, if you just do the straight math on calories and what you can burn in 14 months, it's not really that painful of a race. I mean, there's definitely going to be pain, right? Because you're changing habits and behaviors, which is always painful, right? Mm-hmm. It's been painful for me every time I've had to do that, but there's glory on the other side. There's happiness. There's fulfillment on the other side. And so I just laid him a really big price. I think he could do it, and I think he could get close and fail, but I think he wins no matter what.
Do you think he would even consider doing it?
Well, he said I can lay him 2000-1 and he wouldn't do it. So
wow,
2000-1, he wouldn't even try.
Yeah, he wouldn't even try. Which, he's
that seems like a lost cause at that point. Then
yeah, it does seem like it. But like, imagine a fucking buff Shaun Deep showing.
I know.
Up the
yeah,
table. Like,
I said that in pre-show. I was like, imagine Shaun Deep at 10%. Yeah,
that would just be the most incredible fucking thing to see. Like, I would love to pay money to see that.
He turns into an IFBB pro.
Yeah. And just think about like his reach, like his ripple. Like, a lot of people like, oh, like Shaun would have one of the hugest ripples because of,
for sure,
like his position in poker, and he's well known, and he's around, and he's a good guy, and people like, he's joking, you know what I mean? And he's out there in the streets. And so,
did you say he's round or he's around?
Round.
He's around.
I didn't know either.
Both are applicable.
He chooses that. But like, you pick somebody like Shaun to put this challenge on, or like a Doug for this challenge, because when they tell their story, you hit thousands of other people, right? Mm-hmm. Right. If it's just Joe on the street, it's great. You change one life, but if Shaun does it, you can change thousands of lives, right? Yeah. Or Doug does, you can change thousands of lives. Like David Goggins, he's taken it to the extreme of what your brain is capable of, but he inspires millions of lives.
It's true. I talked with Matt about this, like the Goggins-esque type, where you kind of have to have that extreme example, not to follow it to a T, but to know what is out there. And if you can replicate even a small amount of that in your daily life, making that sort of change is completely beneficial.
You don't know how many times I've like David Goggins' voice in my head to like push me and like, hey, lactic acid in your legs is just a signal. Can you pedal? Okay, then fucking pedal and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And
Stay hard.
It got me through, Like I had to, like, he says about your inner bitch and all your doubts, right? He's basically saying your doubts and these things, these thought processes that you have, you got to break them down and just smash through them. And knowing that he's done it provides you a light. Like, he shows you the picture of him, the big dude, you know what I mean? And like, if you know him, like, he's got a bad heart. He's got sickle cell anemia. He's got fucking missing cartilage. If you look at his toes, they're all fucked up. Like, he's got no right to be doing what he's doing with the body God gave him. And he's out there doing it. So it's very inspiring. Like, holy shit, this guy can do this with all the things all the strikes he's got going against him. I can at least push a little bit further on this Peloton. I can do this. I can get up and drive to whatever. He'd be anything. It doesn't even have to be this heroic thing.
That makes one of us. I got to learn how to drive.
Yeah,
that makes one of us. I got to learn how to drive.
Yeah.
I can't drive anywhere.
that inspiration, you know, Shaun Deep is no David Goggins, but if he pulls off a fucking 10%, he's fucking David Goggins to a lot of people.
Yeah.
No,
Right?
it's true. You know, it'd be great.
Listen,
Genuinely.
I don't mean to interrupt. If Connie can lose the weight, I think anybody can. Bill, I don't know if you know, but Connie used to be a big guy. And this is what we have now, so it is possible.
Hey, you got
Anything is possible.
beast mode. Look at that.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, like you can,
That's my face photoshopped on Shaun Deep.
That's Connie D, baby.
Connie
Connie
D.
D.
That's a good Photoshop.
No, it's good. I mean, like we you know, I tell people, like, you know, people, the ones that are like Perkins, you know, you're my role model, whatever. I'm like, I am no fucking role model. Period. End of sentence. You do not want to live my life. I am a mistake making machine. But I'm not like a new and improved mistake making machine. I'm like the mistake making machine 5000X. But I can be an inspiration, right? And I think that's more important, because people got to live their own lives. Don't live my life, live your own life. But I can inspire you to, you know, to draw out the greatness in you in some way. That's amazing. That's really fulfilling thing for me, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I guess now we can open it to the panel. Does the panel have any questions for our boy BP22, heads-up specialist, weight loss bet enthusiast?
No, I actually don't have any questions. I just want to say I kind of agree with his thought of what should happen at this point. If they did not both agree to give the money to charity, and I'm obviously 100%, or not. I'm not gonna say 100%. I'm gonna say my feelings are that she cheated, or this situation is cheated. I don't even like to say she cheated, because if it's not she, it's the situation.
Yeah.
It would be a whole community.
Yeah, it'd be
of
more
people
than one
doing it.
person
Exactly.
involved. Yeah.
So, yeah, I just want to say I kind of agree with everything you said here. And yeah.
I feel you. Team America, like, go America, man. This is fucking you know, off your fucking head. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. It sounds like you got a home game to get to. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for
I gotta
coming
go
on.
donk it off of my head. Now I can't play ring when you play heads up. It's like,
I know, it's a real shame, because now you think like you can only play X% of hands, and you're sitting there folding when you could have just been playing all of them.
Yeah, but
You can still play all of them if you want. Just are you winning or not?
yeah, I'm not. I'm about to go donk. I appreciate you guys having me on the blather. To Garrett, once again, this is really not like an attack on you. This is an attack on the walls and your what I consider to be your walls, your cognitive bias. I think it obviously would help you, and I really appreciate you opening up on Doug's Polk podcast. That was it was really special. It was good, and I have much respect for you after watching that, because I was cognitively biased against him because of the way it was handled. But now I get it. I was like, I would fucking do the same thing.
Yeah.
Eventually, we got to come to our senses. So anyway, thanks for having me, Blather. Thanks for watching.
Thank you,
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you for coming,
Thank
Bill.
you.
brother.
Later.
You know, I really do agree with him. To
Yeah,
echo your
me too,
sentiment.
man. Like,
I can also see Garrett's point of view, though.
Oh,
why,
for sure you can see
why
his side,
he
yeah.
wouldn't even see this angle at all.
I was entrenched in
Right.
Garrett's point of view. Like,
Me too.
not the fact that I'm saying I'm Team Garrett or anything. I'm just like the situation that I'm watching. Like, it's just I believe that Garrett's probably right in the situation, and it's like, you know, what the fuck do you do here? And now,
Definitely don't wish it on anybody. Like, I would not want to be in that situation. I would not want to be.
no,
Garrett.
it's
like,
the
it's a
shittiest situation ever.
tough place to be.
I wouldn't even want to
Yeah.
arbitrate this.
Right.
Because, like,
It's so
Right.
difficult.
If he
Yeah,
took
yeah.
it upon himself to donate the money, and then like it wasn't like bindingly said somewhere,
Right.
Now it's like, okay, great.
now you donate it, and then you got to pay back, and you get
I don't think
and
it
you
was.
think you got cheated. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
I don't
It's just
know.
like piling on.
Apparently,
So, yeah.
they kind of loosely agreed to doing it of a donation of their choice, like agreed upon whatever.
I think I remember
Is that
this.
in
So
Twitter?
she
Oh, hey,
tweeted.
Nikki.
Yeah.
Hey, Nikki.
By the way, I was about to say, hi, Nikki.
I was so entranced. I fucking love Bill Perkins. I agreed with every single thing he said.
Yeah.
I think, and also I love Garrett. So it's really hard. But I agree with the due process, the innocent. Have you ever played Mafia?
Yeah.
Like,
Love it.
if you ever played that game, like,
Mafia
you could
werewolves,
see
yeah.
how many innocent people die. People are fucking stupid. stupid and they get swayed by biases.
Well,
and,
one time we played werewolf at the house, and then my mom was actually there. It was during Thanksgiving, and then she started saying, "I know my son. He ain't no werewolf." Her son was a werewolf.
110%.
Yeah. She looks at Conrad and goes, "Wolfer, Wolfer, Wolfer."
I love her.
You're wrong, Marty.
Oh, you make good cookies, though. I hate them.
Yeah, so like I don't know. Because again, like this isn't an attack on Garrett at all. Like it's just like this is a shitty fucking spot.
Yeah.
And when it does come down to like this is America and like you can't be kind of charged without like innocent until proven guilty.
Don't quote me on this. I think what happened was Robbi said if he gives me the money back, I'm going to donate it. And then he's like, oh well, I'll donate it.
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think I remember
it's
something like that.
I don't know the exact logistics. There's so much bullshit going on. There's literally so much bullshit going on 24/7. Twitter is a fucking cesspool.
But that needs to be taken into arbitration too. Like all of these weird cases that don't make it one way or the other. I understand the view that it needs to go to arbitration regardless.
Right.
Now. But is she owed $135K? I don't even know. Like,
yeah, I know.
Maybe it's a number in between. How do you even process?
Right.
A number
Well, that's
in between?
that's what the arbitrators would be doing. It would be a difficult job for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like I don't want to say it sets a precedent, but like it's just put an awkward fucking spot. I don't know. I wouldn't hate to be Garrett in the spot.
I can definitely see the side of she gave me the money in a different situation. This is off of poker now. It has nothing to do with the hand. I definitely can see that being a valid argument.
I think he has a lot of arguments in his side, and I'm not sure he would win. I probably wouldn't, honestly. But he does have some things going for him there. And it probably should be taken to arbitration. I don't know.
Also, I would love to see a 14% roided out Shaun Deep.
Yes. Oh my. Bill thinks he could do it.
If he has gear, he could definitely do it.
Yeah.
Right.
In how much time?
14 months.
If he has what?
Like steroids, takes anabolics.
Yeah. You can go through major transformations.
Wow.
Dude, how tall is he? Let's just like roughly like 5'10".
No, he's like 6 something. I thought.
I think he's close to me.
I would say he's like 6'1",
he's really big.
6'2".
All right, so let's say 6'2", and he weighs 280.
I don't know.
He's got to be over 3, right?
We should ask him.
Okay, so let's say
doesn't
this.
matter,
He's 6'2", 280. In order to get down to 12%,
10.
In order to get down to 10%, he'd have to be 170 pounds. So he's got to lose 110 pounds.
But he could be heavier.
I mean,
than that.
Landon did that.
No.
But
hold on a second.
He could be like 200 pounds. He could be 190 something.
If he's jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about, I think this is the issue when most people see it, and this is how I saw it, and I was wrong. And Matt made it very, very clear. If he was going to bet on the Doug versus Perkins side, he would have taken Perkins side, because it's not about just losing weight in order for the body fat percentage, right? You also have to gain some form of muscle as well. Correct. So he can actually be like, call it 220, but if he's absolutely jacked, he could be 10%.
It's harder,
especially if he's on gear.
It's harder.
Listen, putting on muscle and losing fat at the same time, it's a thing, but it's not really a thing.
It's hard.
You would have to be taking a serious amount of like supplements.
So we get the Liver King. He hires the Liver King to get to come up with a concoction for him, and
I think
start taking Omnitrope.
I think even on gear, I think he's gonna have a really hard time because he's losing 8 to 10 pounds a month.
Well, it's also like a lifestyle change, right? The biggest thing would be the lifestyle change, because even if you start taking stuff, you're going to have to exercise a ton. I mean, you're a resident gear specialist. So.
No, I'm definitely not a specialist, but I just think it would be very, very difficult to pull off.
Oh, it's not easy. No one said it was going to be like a cakewalk.
Even on gear, I think maybe that line, the 20-1, is very close. If not, Perkins is still winning.
Yeah,
I think
it's just really tough.
Yeah,
right,
for
20-1.
sure.
And like
I'll take 2001.
It's not 15% body fat. It's 10, which is a huge difference.
10 is hard.
10 is like. I mean,
I work out every day. I lift. I'm not 10%.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you
really
are lean. You're like
correct,
very lean. Yeah,
nowhere near 10%.
You used to be round as well.
I used to be round back in the day.
We were former round people. We're knights of the round table.
You guys are right.
Picks.
I was really low body percent fat till like I started working full time, and then work screwed me over.
Oh,
So I was always very athletic.
got it. Yeah, I think there's something that he said about Doug having that mental block of the
No,
I am
don't
or
you
am
dare
not.
look it up.
Yes, picks.
Yes.
Well,
Wait, looking up isn't like there is a picture of you.
well, there are a lot of pictures. I'm just a
Yeah.
very public person.
Well, that's
This is fucking Grey Torp, all right?
Yeah.
Don't you undertalk Grey Torp like that. Everybody knows Grey Torp. This is a legend. And what'd you do?
Even that, I was a little bit. Oh yeah, I was a lot bigger here. Look at it.
That's not
Chunky.
even that.
Look at him.
You can tell by the face though.
You're like
Yeah.
a bowling ball.
Face only.
That's not
Yep.
chunky.
Like you're not that chunky.
But I was probably like
Your
190
face is a
there.
lot
I'm
fuller
actually not
than it is
impressed
now,
by
yeah.
it. I'm not impressed. Oh, Landon's next.
You've never seen Fat Me?
I think you might have showed me like once. Well, Doug
Man.
used in his video. he
Oh
used,
yeah, that was pretty bad too. That was from.
Did you not see the opening of our podcast?
He doesn't look fat in that.
I don't look fat in the opening.
No,
no,
not
you don't.
impressed.
No, you
Not,
don't.
weren't
Yeah.
a true fatty.
No, I was no. You don't use that. But from the WPT, from Doug's video, yeah, that was from 2 years ago. That was for like a promo for the WPT 25K Heads Up.
Like that was noticeable. I'm not
Papa,
saying
I'll send you a
we're
photo.
like we're gigantic.
Go ahead.
I was 280.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm
So
tall.
You lost
It fills up.
100. You lost 100 pounds.
I lost
That's
roughly around that for my
impressive.
worst.
Yeah.
But there's something that Bill said that Doug had in his mind about the mental block of not being an athlete.
Right.
And I think that honestly, it's the little things that you do that can kind of form that identity for you. You know, like you start eating a little bit better, you start working out a little bit, you start kind of slowly integrating that stuff into your life,
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
then
even look
things
like you.
change.
Yeah, it's wild. I didn't realize that was
Crazy.
just 2 Augusts ago.
Right.
That's a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would put you in a completely different high school stereotype with that. Like you're like the goth guy in that. That's like, like kind of like an all black journaling somewhere.
Kind of scary. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now he's the cool
Oh,
athlete.
he's nice. Don't worry about him.
Nah, I
He's
ain't
he
cool.
looks
Yep.
scary, but he won't hurt.
Now he's nice. He looks scary, but he's nice now. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
That and even then I was on the weight loss grind then too. This was that was way before I guess recent past. But
That's the face you have to make when you are getting gains, right? Because
that's you can't be happy.
you can't be
Everyone knows
happy
that the
while
number
getting
one killer of gains is being happy. So you can't be happy in the gym. You need to be miserable,
Yep.
and you have to only see pain.
Yep.
That's how you get gains.
Do you have like fucked up pictures of yourself all around the mirror just to like
No.
be sad?
No, I carry those with me in my mind all the time.
He had exactly 0 towel pics back then.
Yeah, there was no topic.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my circuit ring, and I think I'll have to
I'll pick with the circuit ring on.
towel pick ring.
Oh man,
Snap.
New and
that
improved.
that one you could sell for a lot of money.
I still owe somebody an autograph picture.
Dude, yeah. Make sure you reach out. Make sure he gets you that picture.
Yeah. Nikki, what's your game for us, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, guys, I never have any clue what I'm doing here until
just
I
here to
get
hang
here.
out.
What do you mean? I saw you yesterday at the Venetian.
No,
we were
I
playing
know.
the 600.
That's what
What
I'm gonna.
happened?
I'm gonna tell them. Like, so Landon, I get to the Venetian. Landon texts me, "Hey, want to be on the podcast tomorrow?" I'm like, "Okay, I'm at the Venetian." Oh shit, they just sat me next to Conrad, and I was like, "Okay, what time?" And he doesn't respond. By the way, he's the most annoying like person to text because he has a thing that says notifications turned off. Do you want to bother him anyway? And I am so tempted to fucking bother him anyway. And then he has read receipts on, so I can tell when he sees my message.
Left you on red.
I left you on red?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You left me on red.
Hey,
Oh,
then-
shit, you're right, because I didn't know what time it was.
Yeah, see? so then he's like, "Oh no, ask Conrad. He's sitting next to you." And it was like right when we went on break. And I was like, "Ugh, we're on break," because I got there right before break. By the way, when I turned in my ticket, we were playing $600 Venetian tournament yesterday. And I got my dealer ticket and I go to the guy and I see Conrad immediately and he's like, "Hey." And I was like, "Don't sit me there. Please don't sit me at that table." He's like, "Pick a fucking card, any card." And there's like 10 cards and I draw the exact seat next to Conrad. I'm like, this is
You know what they call that in the magic industry?
universe.
They call that a force, like a force pick.
Yeah.
Where you were always gonna choose that
No,
one?
I always feel like I'm in a sitcom that's been pre-written. This isn't real. I don't live in a real reality. It's all like a sitcom.
We're part
the
of your
writers
sitcom.
are great. Like I love the characters. The season 5 is amazing. So yeah, I sit down and I'm like, it's like I knew that he was gonna bust me from this tournament, and I played my A game. I had like such good cards, overcards, flushes were getting there. So then I finally had 26 big blinds and cut
Sounds like it
off-
wasn't going that well. If you only had 26 big after making sets and flushes and straights.
Yeah, no, my set got flushed.
She got
Like
fucked.
that kind of shit was happening over and over again. So then, so the cutoff opens and the button calls. Conrad's in the small blind and he 3-bets, and then I shove with jacks, and he looks, and then so cutoff folds, button folds, and he looks at me. He's like, "Why?" And then he calls me with he has ace queen suited. It's a flip. It's a standard flip.
Standard stuff.
When I saw it, I was like, I fucking knew this would happen. Ace on the flop.
Never gonna win that hand.
No, I was never meant to. I was meant to
never.
talk about this on the podcast. I was like, yeah, they never know what to fucking say on their podcast. Now we have a story. And by the way, when he busted me, he goes, "Oh, could you think of a game to play tomorrow?"
On your way out the door.
And we won't tell you what fucking time to show up.
He's like, well, the rest of your evening is all clear, so why don't you just build a show for
I
tomorrow?
was like, so are you gonna build a game for tomorrow?
Yeah. And then Landon texts me like an hour before I'm supposed to be here. He's like at 10:30, like, "Hey, we're gonna start at 11:30." Bro.
That's Slate Batty time zone. It's always moving.
And I was like, "Is that the pre?" Because they do like a little pre-production, and like sometimes I show
we
up.
just call it pre-production. We
Yeah.
don't really do anything.
I
just hang
don't.
out.
Actually, all the best stuff is in pre-production. I wish you would film pre-production because it's
We've
like
actually discussed
We've
that.
discussed
Yeah.
that. Put it on like
Canceled.
Patreon or something.
It
You know?
would be quiet because we'd be
you
canceled.
should have like a little behind-the-scenes thing that you can make blooper reels out of it. It's extra content. Fucking use your head, guys.
Is that a game for us?
This is why she's so good at content creation.
I'm retired.
well,
Yeah,
It's like gold medal
Just give
retirement
us all
to be
that
here.
gold, and we'll
Retired as in you're doing even more than you were doing when you were non-retired.
Yeah, for free, just for funsies.
With your sketch comedy series,
Yeah.
and then
Yes. So Caitlin and I are that's a top secret project. Caitlin and Komeski and I are coming out with the project. Everyone here is going to be in it.
I can't wait.
At some point, I'm so
I hope
excited.
it's mud wrestling.
I've
We
always
just got
wanted to
our
be an
logo.
actor.
Now's your time to shine. We're gonna make you a star, baby. You're gonna be the big pictures.
it's tortoise time.
Yeah, you have a little segment.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good actually.
Marnie needs to make cookies for that, for sure,
Yes.
for sure.
This is all
Definitely-
just turning into labor for my mom.
Yes, I get paid in cookies.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, Landon manifested this though. He was like, "I'm gonna make you a regular on our show." I'm like,
Nikki, everybody gets
No.
paid in food here.
Yep.
Guapo gets tortillas. You can get
I get
cookies.
cookies. Okay, good.
They
I'm
pay
okay
me-
with that.
They pay me in pasta.
I have old chubby goth photos of me too.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
you want me to
pics,
send you it?
pics.
Okay, let me see if I can find them.
So what game did you
So
come
the
up with?
game I came up with is a little hot little game called Two Truths and a Lie.
Okay.
You might have played it before.
Oh, you came up with this game?
I came up with it
You're
in
the
my head.
inventor of the game?
It went around the world and came back, but now you got to meet the inventor of the game. It's because I tell the truth more than I lie, and so that's where I got the inspiration for it. But you got to have some lies in there to keep it mysterious.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, everybody in the world that's played my game that I came up with. We're probably going to play it today, but, give yourself some time. Think of some good ones. Don't make it easy. Don't make like a one that's like mostly truth, but then like you threw a dog in there that you didn't have. Like that's some bullshit.
Man, I feel like I need a lot of time to prepare for this.
No.
Take a
We all
second.
have 1 minute.
Oh my
Take
god.
a second. I'm looking for my old picture for you.
2 truths and a lie. It'd be tough.
Yeah, 2 truths. Can you tell that many truths, or you only have bluffs?
I only have bluffs. Yeah, I'm
You
like
need a
Doug Polk. I'm
balanced
an
range here.
overbluffer.
I'm gonna send it to Landon.
Okay, and then I'll send it to the.
He's
to the-
gonna leave me on red probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Guapo. Yeah, okay. That's a big boy.
All right.
What is that? You send him an image? Nikki, here's Andre's image.
Thing I do.
Wow.
What?
Look at that.
We don't get any. There's no body in there. How am I supposed to tell?
All right.
By the face.
You
It
can
could have
tell by
been
the
a
big
filter.
chips. The big cheeks.
There's dimples though.
Yeah, the dimples good. Yeah, those are cute.
Wow.
Oh, you
I
got
put it
them
in the
too. I
podcast
see-
chat,
I see
Guapo.
you.
What's going on?
Nikki sent me an image.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
See?
Hold on.
I'm one of you.
Yay! Join the club!
I will never be 10% though. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
females can't.
Nikki,
or,
this isn't
like,
even
can't really.
the same person.
I know. That's who I am inside. When I look in the mirror.
What episode of the sitcom? What season?
That
what
was got to be season 2,
episode?
episode 5. It was like mid-season.
Uh-huh.
We didn't get a huge budget that season. We only had 13 episodes.
How old were you then?
15?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We all went through our phase. you
Yeah,
know?
I thought that makeup matched my face, by the way. I really thought that.
looks like
I thought that was a color match.
That looks like Landon from the WPT pictures.
Yeah, that's
Girlfriend.
what, we would have been friends.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
Like, I
Only
definitely had
friends.
lunch with you in the quads at school.
Yeah.
I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Oh,
didn't
shit.
even do it.
Conrad's all prepared.
You know, I got my 2 truths and a lie.
All right.
man.
Why don't you go first?
All right, well, I'm going to go first then. Let's start this game off.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Number 1.
Why'd you look at me like that? Just
Go
like
ahead,
stared at me
number
with
one.
these eyes.
I dropped out of high school in 10th grade.
Okay.
Number 2, I work out once a week. Number 3, I used to be a manny.
With a Manny?
A manny.
What's that?
A male nanny.
All right, we'll go around. So we'll first go to Guapo. What do you think the lie is?
What was the first one you said?
You dropped out at 10th grade.
Dropped out of high school in 10th grade.
What was the second?
Work out once a week.
Okay, I'll go with number 2.
I was going to go number 2, too.
Same.
Yeah, if it's not number 2, I will be extremely remiss.
Same.
Because
I
it's
fucked
more.
up. I should have never put that in there.
We'll get another. You did it too fast.
For what
That's
it's
why.
worth, I didn't know the truth. I already knew the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
So
used
how
to be
often
a
a
man?
week do you?
Yes.
I used to be a manny for like
that one was shocked the hell out of me, obviously.
Rachel Weisz, a bunch of actresses and
Like famous people. He would watch famous people's kids.
How did you get that job?
my mom was their pediatrician and I was my mom's medical assistant.
Oh.
So one day this lady walked in and I was playing with the kid as always. He was a really cool kid and she's like, "I'm going to pay you a shitload of money to watch my child." And I looked at her and I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm going to pay you a lot of money to watch my child." I was like, "Okay."
Imagine how awesome it would be for a kid if Conrad was your nanny.
We
It'd
used-
be like the greatest nanny
We used
of
to
all
have
time.
so much fun.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Ride bikes up and down the West Side Highway, go out to lunch at Nobu, you know, all the
Outside
fun
the West
stuff.
Side Highway,
Oh,
go play in traffic.
We were living life,
Wait,
you know?
wait. What was the first one? Was you dropped out of high school in 10th grade?
Yeah.
What was that story?
I told some girl to give her $5 to punch this kid in the face to get me out of there. I was really bored. It wasn't working out.
And they were like, "You're out,"
Yeah.
and you were like, "Fine."
I was like, "All right, guys, I'll
What'd
see
you
you
do
later."
after that?
I went to night school for like 3 months or something
Did
like
you ever
that.
miss school?
No.
No. Okay.
I
Like, you
wasn't-
didn't have like friends there that you were like.
My friends were bad.
They're bad.
Yeah, they were bad. They were already out of school.
I see. So
Yeah.
you guys all like kind of did it together.
I was just kinda
Adjacent.
I kind of got to a point of boredom, and I was just like, okay, I'm not. I should just be out of here. And that's not good. So yeah,
Alright.
dropped out then.
Nice.
Got my GED.
Well, at least you got
That
that.
worked.
Yeah, that's all you really need.
Went to college like 7 times for 1 week.
Oh, that's where you fucked up.
No flaws before that.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Not me, because I'm still thinking.
I need a third one because my whole life is online. I
Yeah.
feel like everyone, like all my like truths, everyone would know.
Speaking about your whole life being online, the other
Yeah.
day you were talking about your life, and everybody was like, "You're famous. Everybody knows who you were in a relationship with."
Wait, who? When?
You said the belly button.
Nobody knows knows him. That was like when I was 23. Like, that was when we broke up. We started dating when I was 18. Like, there's no way anybody knows him.
We're
not like, it was before social media. Like, there's MySpace pics of us, but you'll never like. I don't even know his Facebook or Instagram or anything.
Chat's like, you're famous. They all know who he is now. I was dying.
He's off the grid. You guys will never find out who that is. I will. You'll know him as belly button fucker, but like.
Fucking great. Robert, what do you have for us? Come on.
All right, I'll get in the mix.
All right, let's go.
I bought my first car when I was 11.
All right.
I bought a ring at a garage sale for $10 worth, $7,000.
Wait, what was the first one?
I bought my first car when I was 12.
Okay.
You said 11.
You said 11.
Wait
what the fuck?
Hold on a second. Well, let me just finish. We'll go with 12. Bought my first car when I was 12. I bought a ring for $10 that was worth like a few $1,000s. And I've gone skydiving almost a dozen times.
All right, Guapo's never been skydiving.
Why doesn't he know the age he was when he bought a car?
Well, listen, if you know Guapo, right? Guapo definitely bought a car when he was 12 years old. All right,
I
he was
agree with
saving
that.
pennies,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
and then like an opportunity arose, and he was like, boom. Just as it ties in with the ring.
I see.
You know, opportunity arose. He's at some thrift store. Bing bang boom, got it. Worth a couple thousand. 100% he's never been skydiving.
Also, it's a rose. I know you dropped out in 10th grade, but like the past tense of a rise is a rose. It's okay. We still love you, Conrad.
No, I'm not good at those.
Guapo in this room literally has the most liquidity out of all of us, and he still collects like soda cans.
It's not. There's no lie here.
That is in alignment with someone that will not skydive.
All right, I'm going with skydiving as well. Landy?
Your logic is very, very good. I'm going to go skydiving.
Yeah, same
Especially
skydiving.
because he changed the number from 11 to 12. Makes me think the 12th is the truth, is when he bought the car, and that has never gone skydiving.
Nikki?
Oh, it's me? All right, I think I have 3 that are somewhat
No.
hard.
I think we all. I think
For Guapo.
I already said skydiving.
Okay.
She did.
Yeah.
Guapo?
It's true. I've never been skydiving.
Too busy saving pennies.
we gotta think about better
Fall out of your
lies.
pocket.
We gotta think about better lies. Run it,
I
Nikki.
know, we're bad at lying. How you all play poker is bad at lying.
I usually
Bluffs never get through.
I tell people the truth, then they fold. Like I'm bluffing. They're like, I fold.
Reverse psychology. Okay. I once owned a parrot. I collect crystals and know all their metaphysical properties. And I own 3 guns.
Oh fuck.
What was the first one?
I once owned a parrot.
So
I have a physical tell, and I'm going to go with parrot to beat everybody to the punch.
Well, I want to know your physical tell after.
All right.
well, we all know
Because it's wrong.
we all know that you won a fantasy football league using crystals.
Ah, fuck, I did say that.
B is out.
Yeah. Well, I know you did talk about a lot of new age stuff. Is that what you want to call it?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah. So I
That's a
crystals
very
for
nice
sure.
way to say it,
Craft.
Brian.
Yeah.
So either own a parrot or what was the other one?
Own 3 guns.
Own 3 guns. Oh my god. You don't own 3 guns. I'm going with that being a lie. Next.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm also split.
this is I know, me too. But I think I'm gonna go with parrot is the lie.
Wait, where are you from?
Santa Barbara.
Okay, I'm sticking with not owning 3
Well,
guns.
she said Alabama. You're like,
See, the reason
Texas.
why
I'm from
I think
Texas,
she
okay.
would own guns is because she grew up with YouTube and the internet, and she has enough crazies that would stalk her.
Yeah, but
So she
isn't
feels like
too.
she would have to.
aren't gun
defend
laws
herself.
kind of strict in California?
It doesn't matter, bro. Her DMs is probably the worst out of everybody, including Melissa's. So
You got some bad DMs, Nikki?
I try not to look at them. But,
Damn.
yeah, I do. There was a one era where I had like hundreds of death threats.
Jeez.
Okay, so I'm definitely going with the parrot.
Yo, Guapa, what was it, dude? You're right, I guess.
Hold on. Did you pick yet?
I'm picking parrot now because of what I recently learned.
Well, hold on, because I could be wrong. Nikki?
Nikki, do you have Mace in your pocketbook?
I used to.
All right, so I'm sticking with C. Yeah.
And the
Brian?
verdict?
I'm still thinking of my last one, so.
Well, no.
Nikki.
I
What's
said
her-
parrot. I said
Oh, okay.
parrot. Yeah.
So talk to us.
Okay, I kind of fucked up. So I picked. Well, like it is the parrot is the lie. Parrot is the lie. But I only have 2 guns. I thought I had 3, but I don't have 3.
Okay, but that counts.
Okay.
Guapo, well, how did you know?
On a side note, I just want you guys to know that Guapo, this is completely unrelated, but Guapo set me up on a date when I was single. And this is the first girl that I went on a date with, to be clear. Since
Ever?
since I broke up with she was my fiance at the time.
Okay.
Okay, so we're having a good time, everything. She gets home, and all of a sudden, this is something I just didn't notice before. She's just like talking to me, and then she's like out of her holster, she pulls out one gun and just puts it on the table. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And then she's, it's a casual conversation, and she takes another gun and she puts it on the fucking table.
You're welcome. Andre.
Okay.
That's badass.
And then
Open carry?
again, she's just talking, and she just lifts her leg up, and she's like,
Was
and
she a
puts a third
spy?
gun on the table.
Holy shit! So you married her?
Yeah, we're
Fuck
together.
yeah.
now.
Slay baddie material.
3 guns on her.
3 guns. I got the fuck out of there.
It's wild.
Wait, I
That's
want to know what this
amazing.
live tell was, Guapo. What was it?
Yeah.
Well, being that I'm a live pro now,
Yeah.
Did you go to the win yet or what?
yes, I have. I actually played with Connie. There was a voice inflection. So if you watch this back and she gives her 3 responses, there was a little bit of a different canter when she said parrot.
Oh shit.
A parrot.
I usually distract people with my eyes so they don't notice my voice.
Don't respond to people at the poker table.
Oh, I'd love to.
Do you have
I
a
say
good
like
hand?
5 different answers.
You just randomize between 1 to 5
Oh,
answers?
I love talking to people. That's my favorite part of live poker. I wouldn't play if I didn't get to talk and troll people and noodle people at the table.
So much fun.
It's my favorite. That's why I was at Cash till 2 a.m. because it was so fun.
You were there till 2 a.m.?
Yeah, I set my alarm at 10 p.m. because I gotta get up early because I don't know what time they're gonna make me be on this show. And then it was just fun. It was good, and there were people that like didn't know like when it was their turn to bet. Like it was that good. Like
You're
at the
playing
table.
3-6?
3-5.
3-5, yeah.
Oh, also shout out to Mike, who like we were sitting next to each other the whole time, and he watches this show every day.
Oh, Mike, he came up to me and gave me a pound.
Yeah,
What's poppin', Mike?
What's poppin', Mike? So he'll agree with me that this table was right when we wanted to go to bed. Like we both set our alarms to go to bed, and then the table got really fucking spicy and good, and then we stayed. But it was I didn't actually. I think Mike took some of my money, but I was trying to get it in with the other people.
I got
Anyway.
mine, but I'm gonna give them to Conrad, so I give no tells.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good idea. Good strategy.
All right.
Good strat.
GTO strat.
I hospitalized 2 people in an open weight judo tournament. I'm the 1999 Juniors National Yacht Club sailing champion.
It's all brags. Jeez.
I'm wearing a butt plug.
Oh man, I mean,
No, the last one, that's it. No butt plug. I worked on Wall Street up until August of 2008.
Oh, when everything crashed? Was you?
Wow.
I'm gonna go with Wall Street is the lie.
Yeah, I'm going with Wall
You
Street.
definitely sent 2 people in the hospital in a tournament.
The other ones
Yeah,
were
for
so
sure.
detailed, and the Wall Street
Yeah.
one was like, we're
What
doing
hit
it.
me?
I'm going to go Wall Street as well.
What was B again? What was the second one?
Some yacht club
On the 1990s.
thing.
Oh yeah, you were.
Yeah, I mean,
you
he lived in the Jersey Shore, right? Yeah,
little
yeah.
preppy kid. Yeah, he was definitely part of the yacht
Some
club.
Andy?
Damn, knowing that you're in Jersey, I was gonna go yacht club until Conrad convinced me.
Mm.
I feel like Guapo would know best, and bro said Wall Street, so I'm gonna go Wall Street.
Just copying people's answers.
Yeah. This is how I got through high school.
Nice.
It was the yacht club.
It was a yacht
That's a
club.
lie?
That makes sense.
You worked at Wall Street? What'd you do?
Yeah, I was an actuary.
What's that?
Yeah.
That's a made-up profession. It's not
I was
real.
gonna go, fuck. This is
It
what
was-
happens when you
it was
copy
the-
people. You lose.
Yeah, the yacht club. Yeah, I mean,
Funny part is I
you
knew
knew he put some people in the hospital for sure.
Yeah, that was for sure. I knew you were an
Yeah.
actuary too, and I was like, I don't think you worked at Wall Street though. That's miserable.
And now you're here with us.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh, how the mighty
Rejection
have
of life.
fallen.
He could have been a Manny for
Wow, you want to laugh? We were in this
Yeah, we're
like
very
4
similar.
blocks away
I
from
live
each other.
34th and Broadway.
Oh no,
So very far away. But
I worked
Liberty.
Right, yeah, I worked right there.
Yeah, that's
Most of the
crazy.
time.
Did they make you keep your shoes on?
He's the shoeless actuary.
Sucks working for the man.
All right, I got mine.
All right,
All
run
right,
it.
let's go.
Okay. For a 10-year stretch of my life, I took HGH.
Okay.
When I was
Not the past 10 years.
when I just said for a 10-year
Okay,
stretch.
we're
of my
10
life.
years.
And then when I was 10 years old, I burnt down my woods behind my house. And when I was in college, I got arrested for indecent exposure.
If anybody knows Lamanna, you know the kid loves to play with fire.
Yeah.
That's why he cooks all the
That
time.
one was the most believable.
Yep,
That was-
yep, definitely. He was a fucking little pyro as a kid. He's like, ooh, ooh.
I'm gonna snap on this one.
All right.
It's C. It's C. It has to be.
What was he again?
Indecent
Oh,
exposure.
he's decent exposure.
I'm
I don't know.
gonna go with C as well because I really hope that.
Don't you have to be put on? You have to be put on a
you-
list for that, and you have to like. Don't you have to be put on a list if you? like you have to
Go
tell,
knock on
You
doors
have to go
and,
knock
like-
on doors and shit. Yeah.
I mean, like,
Now
just-
you can get that expunged.
No, because I get turned on by the thought of sex in public, like getting caught, not like right out in the open, but like in a bathroom or like someone could walk in on you or whatever. But like the excuse is always like, yeah, but then if we get caught and then they put charges on us, we gotta put our name on a list for sex offenders. And I'm like, come on, fucking live a little.
I mean, guys, the same, like a few years after he burnt down the fucking woods in the back of his house, he got drunk and showed his pee-pee. Like, this is unbelievable.
I feel like it's not a 10-year stretch of HGH. It might be a little less. So I'm going to go with A. There might be some expunged indecent exposure causes.
Yeah, I think maybe you were peeing in public by accident and someone saw you. I'm gonna go with A as well.
I don't know if he would. I'm gonna go actually with C, just because I don't know if he would take the years and change it. It's like 5 years of HGH that he really took and says that he took 10. So I think that it probably was 10 years of HGH, and he never showed his pee-pee.
Everyone guess?
Oh, he showed that.
Guapo, I think said C.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. The correct answer, thank God, is C.
Let's go.
Never been arrested for indecent exposure.
Yeah,
Which is good.
No peepees were shown.
When I was 8 years old, I was diagnosed with human growth hormone deficiency. So I had to take a shot every day of growth hormone.
What does that mean? Like what?
So I was just not growing as tall. Like my family's all short, and my brother was actually diagnosed with the same thing. So your body wasn't producing human growth hormone like it's supposed to. So you had to take a shot of it every day to make sure you weren't like Andre size.
Yeah.
Like
Damn, bro.
I hospitalized 2 people.
This is why.
yeah, and then I used to like playing with fire as a kid, and you'd set one in the woods and you'd dump it,
I
You
could
put
see
it
a
out.
drunk
put it
tortoise
out,
getting
and then
in
you put
trouble.
another one, and then all of a sudden the one you thought you put out wasn't out, and
I
then
can picture
there's
you
three-
as a kid doing
yeah,
this.
and then there's all of a sudden 3 fire trucks at your house. Nobody died. It wasn't like the entire woods burned down.
Not
but,
having kids. That's why I can't have kids.
Yeah, so
You can't have kids burn the house down.
No, we gotta worry about shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to worry about
Landy.
the big bad wolf.
It's time for you to cook.
Yeah, I cooked.
Let them cook.
let them cook.
I lived in the office for 3 months before moving into Matt's house.
What's the office? The here?
This is the
Okay.
office, yes.
My win rate prior to the Perkins challenge for prep was 10 big blinds per 100. I broke 2 fingers playing handball in middle school.
What was the second one?
My win rate prior to the Perkins challenge was 10 big blinds per 100.
You
What was
scraped
the
your
first one?
fingers on the fucking concrete?
What was the first one?
The first one was I lived in the office for 3 months before moving into Matt's house.
10 big blinds.
Yeah, I'm going 10 big blinds.
I'm going with C.
I am also going with C.
Nah, Landon was definitely scraped his fucking fingers trying
No,
to
he
hit
said
a
he
ball.
broke.
You
Bro.
said
Yeah,
he
he said he
broke?
broke.
I
Yeah.
broke 2 fingers, yeah.
Yeah, he probably scraped them on the concrete and pushed it back. I'm going.
I'm going to go with B. Well, I mean,
That's why I bluff so much.
Yeah.
I'm going 10 big blinds, 100%.
Yeah. Me too.
Also, I heard a voice tell too.
I was just bad at reading.
Run it.
Yeah, so the lie is C. I broke one finger playing handball in middle school.
Oh, he fucking took what I just said.
Did the
God
thing
damn
that
it.
I told you.
He did the thing
I
that
said
you told
I-
me.
Yeah.
You also did the thing. You said
but-
3 goes with 2.
No, parrot was the lie. I accidentally just messed up my truth, but it was
Right.
that was still a truth.
No,
You don't like that one? That one seems reasonable.
You can't.
You broke one, but not 2.
I knew you broke a finger just by the way you said it.
I did break a finger.
Adding the fingers cheating.
So
You
win rate
essentially
was
had 3 truths.
10 out of 100. I thought it would be higher.
No.
I gave you too much cred.
Yeah, wow. You went that way. Most people were low. No, it was 10. Yeah. And then when I played him, I won at 4, which means I lost.
It's
Anyways.
so cheating. I could so see you being clumsy. You just like scrape your
No.
fingers on the ground and they bend back.
And no, it was actually during handball. Kid threw the ball. I caught the ball, but it caught in a weird way where it fucked up my thumb. It broke my thumb for like a month.
Wait, we're talking about the little blue rubbery ball?
Handball.
No, the handball, the
It's like a
bouncy.
volleyball.
It's like a bouncy ball.
It's like, we used the volleyball for it, but like I just caught it in a bad
you
way.
hit it at the
You
the
used
wall.
the volleyball to play handball.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
'cause
doesn't bounce
'cause
very well.
Handball is the little blue balls.
No, they're
No.
like they're like bigger.
Oh, you see, this is the problem. We went to high school at the different times.
No,
in
this is
life.
in elementary.
We're definitely being played off.
Oh no, Conrad.
I want to give my victory speech real quick before we get played off. Okay, because I won all of them.
That's true.
That means I can tell a
Speech.
lot, who lies. Robbi cheated. Okay.
Amen and based. On that note, we will be back tomorrow. What are we doing tomorrow? Nikki, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're
I know
welcome.
half of the podcast you were just entrenched in the stuff.
Dude, I loved listening to Bill Perkins. He told me not to make him my hero, but I mean he's my secret hero now.
Yeah, he was great. Tomorrow we are going to have Matt Hunt on, I believe, for some strat chat and maybe some, some sunglass strategy.
Oh, I can't wait for sunglass
So,
strategy Wednesday.
I'm gonna be rocking these. We're gonna be,
I'm excited
we're
for
gonna
this.
learn. This is how you learn poker.
I'm excited for
Right,
this.
exactly. So he'll be here, I believe, noon.
All right, sweet. On that note, we are out of here. Keep it popping. Peace.
Poppin'.
Peace.